Wow, that sounded a little bit like the guy from when you go on Soren. Remember, we go, hello. I feel like I've been away for a while, and I'm not going to let Pete hang out in the green room. I'm going to bring him right in. Hello, Pete.
Good to see you, Panda.
How are you, man?
I'm doing wonderful.
So I've talked about you as an inspirational person, but already the chat room there is a Rachel Loves Disney who says Pete has inspired me to do other stuff for Disney YouTubers, and then goes on to say, and for the whole Disney community, he has a huge influence on my life, and he doesn't even know it. Did you know that you did, or you don't? You didn't know it?
I do now, so I appreciate Rachel. She's a great supporter of the community, and see her in many chats, always being positive. And yeah, I value Rachel immensely.
Now, for people that don't know Pete, Pete, I guess your claim to fame right now is the Disney Chaos Clubhouse.
Well, it's yeah, it's what we call our channel. My son named it, and we kind of stuck with it. So it's yeah, it's the
I
YouTube.
like it because chaos can mean negative, but when it's Disney chaos, it's never negative.
It's Disney Chaos in our channel, and it's the NFL or Disney. It's one of the two, and it's all about positivity and empowering and keeping people. You know, my grandfather said years ago, if somebody's smiling, they can't be fighting, and that's what we try
I
to do.
I
So,
completely agree with that. Brandon, this little green screen is because I have that cabinet and it has a mirror on it, and apparently the lights reflect, and people think Carol Ann from Poltergeist is coming out. So yeah, you know, Pete is going to actually interview me. Was it December or January, Pete?
both. You're in the hot seat on December 20th, which is an interesting fact for all those who have seen the hot seat. And then you're going to be on in January, where we talk a lot about your embroidery and all the good stuff that you have going, and the race for 100K to get you to that magic button that we
It's
want you
still
to
going
have.
up. It goes up like 100 every month, like 100. There was a time where I got 1,000 a day, and let me tell you what happened. I had an old video of Frozen, and it was a Frozen parade in the studios where Anna and Elsa, after part one, not part two,
Mhm.
and then part two started to come out, and people were just searching it, and I got 1,000 new subscribers a day, and it was crazy. And then it trickled. Now it's I need some good content again. Christmas, I don't know if it's going to do it. It's creeping up again, but slowly. But
Well,
thank you,
you're going to get there, and we're going to try to help. There's a lot of people in the
thank
Disney
you,
community that are coming in new to our community that need to find out about your success, your creativity, your content, all those
thank you
great
so
things.
much. So I wanted to talk about you. You really, I don't know if you know this. When you had me on the phone, I was almost in tears, and I was like, "Wow, this is a story." You have a very serious story. I won't say it's not the happiest of stories, but you certainly took it where the ending isn't as bad as it could be.
I would say so.
Can you start me off? I mean, some of these people probably know it, some of them don't. I want to hear what happened to you. Something bad happened to you.
Well, yeah, something bad happened. I guess where it starts is I for years was what I called an enhancer for the Disney community for several channels within the community that I followed, and I got involved and was down for the Beverly Challenge, which was a huge thing that multiple channels did to raise money for Give Kids the World, and that was in August. In September, the following month, this was in of 19. I was down at my national sales conference in Florida at Fort Lauderdale. I've been doing it for 10 years. I rented a tuxedo, wore it for our final opening. I was the kind of like the MC of the event for the awards banquet. And that night, I got a blister on my foot from the shoe that I wore, I believe. I know that's how I got it. And then somewhere from there, I went. That was Friday night. I went Saturday morning early, drove to Disney, spent 3 days in Disney, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, flew back Tuesday morning to home here in Baltimore. And then the next thing that I remember is Wednesday telling a couple of my teammates that I didn't feel that great. And I woke, that was September the 18th. The morning of the 19th, my wife called my mother because I wasn't answering the phone. I was rushed to the hospital, and I don't remember waking up until mid-October out of a coma.
Okay,
And
wait. So you were in a coma from when to when?
I was in a coma for about 20 some days, late September till early October, mid-October.
Did anybody confirm that this blister festered and had to do with some infection that went through your body?
we know that it was a blood infection that I got, and it was, God, there's so many friends here. It's great to see. Wow. Hello to everybody as I'm talking. Thank you for coming over and supporting John.
Thank you very much, guys.
The blood infection 100% was contracted somewhere between when I got the blister and when I got home. I can't quantify 100% that it happened from the shoe itself, in the hotel where I was at, in the rental car that I used, anywhere on Disney property that I was at, in the Disney hotels that I was in, on the airplane coming home. I just can't, we can't do it. There's just no, it's impossible. As my doctor said, it was a 1,000,000 to 1 shot. It's like winning the reverse lottery. I had sepsis and toxic shock at the same time. Apparently in the ambulance on the way to the hospital, I was delusionally babbling because I had kind of lost full control of all functions. And Dave of Brandy and Dave in the community, I apparently called Dave up on the cell phone and gave him very explicit directions on what he was to do for my job. And apparently he was like, I have no idea what he's talking about. And he was I don't remember talking to Dave, but he was the last person I talked to. I don't remember it. The last person I do remember talking to was Prince Charming Dev. Right before I laid down, I told him I'd call him back. We were actually he was looking at engagement rings, which he recently did. And I told him, I'll call you back. And I don't remember. That was, like I said, I woke up like a month later.
I wonder when he found out, Pete's not just ignoring me.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people, it was, so I work for a military company. My company is owned by 2 Marines. I don't say retired because you're never a retired Marine. You are a Marine. And I'm very proud to say that they jumped in with my wife. They made executive decisions that everything was to go on communication shutdown. And it was because my wife was in shock. My kids were struggling with trying to figure out. It's basically happened overnight. And they wanted to control everything, to try to control the bedlam and mayhem that they were worried would come out of this, which was unique in its own fashion. So
when you said you were feeling sick, did you have a fever? Do you remember feeling feverish or?
I felt like I had the flu. I laid down in this office where I'm at right now. I laid down on the floor and grabbed the pillow, as I'd done many other times. There were many times where I'd work 18, 19-hour days, and I'd lay in here and take a 30-minute nap real quick with one of my dogs laying next to me and do it. So I remember telling my wife I was feeling a little woozy and didn't, kind of felt like it was kind of more or less like the flu. And I woke up, like I said, 20 some days later. They had amputated my lower part of my left leg midway through my calf. They had amputated my left hand. At that time, they were, before I woke up, there was the hospital I was at was trying to take all 4 of my leg, every leg and arm I had. They were trying to take everything. And my wife said, no, if he wakes up and you've taken everything, I don't know how he'll handle that. And it was, the question was if I woke up, because my wife was told this is all, if you want a more detailed, I'm giving the top line approach.
No, I want to know. I think this is really important because there's good stuff that does come out of this, but
there is.
You lost your leg and your arm, your hand.
I don't have my left hand. The doctors were telling my wife for the first 10 days to say goodbye to your husband. He's probably not going to make it through the night. They had my mother had brought in a Catholic priest and done last rites with me. I had several friends that were there every day coming to see me. I had one of my friends who was fighting a battle with leukemia who just passed away on Monday, who actually went through like 7 different levels to get in just to see me. I don't remember him ever seeing me, God rest his soul. But it was just, it's a whole new world is what it is.
You did tell me while you were in the coma, your son did something.
He did several things. It took a while for my kids to come see me. First off, it was extremely tough. And I understand that. But when my son did finally come see me, it was because he got inspired. And again, the Disney community coming to fruition. Steve from Steve's World, who was a friend that I had gotten to know in the Disney community, who we had spent time with at the Star Wars opening. He flew out here from Indiana. He met Walt from Mouse Talk, who lived 5 minutes from my house, and they went out and saw one of my son's soccer games and supported my son because I couldn't be there. And Steve talked to him a little bit, and from that, my son got the inspiration to come see me. And when he did, he was there. He would play stuff from the Disney community. When I say stuff from the Disney community, he would play different artists from the Disney community, music and items like that. But he would play live streams for me. He would Wednesdays when he was there, he would play this and that. And Thursdays when he was there, he was playing Corey Meets World. Fridays when he was there, he was playing Resort TV One. And I truly believe in my heart, although I don't remember hearing everything, I have a inclination that I heard stuff. But when you're in a coma, it's weird. You kind of peacefully go to sleep, and you know your body's at peace. And
there still might be some
I believe
connection
there was
there.
inspiration, John. I believe there was inspiration, and it's part of what is my inspiration for what I'm doing now with my channel, which we can talk about later. But to have somebody to go through it and have your spouse laying there, as my wife was, and have the doctors tell him every day he's not going to be here in the morning. He's not going to be here. And I have a journal that one of the girls from my office who came here to stay with my wife and help her wrote every day, and it's clearly written in the journal. We hope you make it through the night. Please make it through the night. Please be here in the morning. And
they would write this in a journal that was there in the hospital.
No, I have the journal in my house.
Who would write those messages?
This young lady named Robin, who was from my office. My company sent her here to help my wife while this was going on. My company's unbelievable, and they don't want to be recognized, so that's why I'm not saying their name. They've asked me not to. They just want to do what they did because of what they did. So she came here for literally 2 weeks and lived with my family and helped with everything. But she kept a journal because my CFO for my company said, hey, you ought to write this all down in case Pete wakes out of it. I'm sure he'd be curious to see. So she wrote every day what was going on, what my kids were doing, just all the way down to the details of, Preston's at school today or doing this or doing that. It was so detailed. It was about 40 pages front and back of a full-size notebook, this journal for a 2-week period. But every night in there, it gave me the actual feedback from the doctors. What happened so I was at St. Agnes, and the doctors basically told my wife that they said, we're baffled. We don't know what we can do to help. We're at a loss. And we had a friend of the family who was a nurse over at Shock Trauma, which is one of the top soft tissue. Guys, I hate the fact I'm using but I'm a little emotional as I'm doing this.
Okay.
I apologize. There's a soft tissue unit that's incredible in shock, and that she worked there, and she called over and spoke to her head nurse and said, hey, you got to get him over there. Well, on top of that, we had a close friend of the family who we've known for years, who was down at the hospital, and his dad was the county executive for our county here in our state. He called him and said, Dad, I need help. Pete's going to die. And he picked up the phone, and he called over and spoke with the head of Shock Trauma, who is world renowned. You can look him up. His name is Dr. Thomas Scalea. He is unbelievable. I mean, if there's something going on in medicine, he's involved. And like the recognitions for this gentleman are unreal. He brought me over, and he and his team saved my life. They put me, I am talking about Maryland. Yes, Mary. He put me through hyperbaric chambers to try to reoxygenize my body, which I remember those, but I was so loopy from the drugs and the infection still that it was making its path toward my brain, up my body, and that's what they were trying to fight and stop. And I remember thinking I was in a sub in the 1920s, and that somebody had kidnapped me, and I didn't know how I was getting back home. That's what I remember of the hyperbaric chambers, because I was so loopy. But he came in, he's worked different miracles to do it. They had to, not only did I lose my left hand, my right hand, in my ankle at one point, I had it was about a 4.5-inch gash that was the size of $2 silver put together. It's now down to about $1 silver. And I live in Westminster, but I grew up in Maryland. So Mary, you know who Dr. Scalea is for sure. And Shock Trauma and that. And of course, my therapy is now done at Johns Hopkins. So two the best in the world I'm lucky to have. But on my hand, which I'll share a little bit of, I actually lost all the tendons in my right hand. They had to cut from almost at my elbow all the way down to my fingers because the infection was over on my right hand also. So they had to cut all this out, which I still have a small topical wound there that I'm working to work through. I've lost part of the motor function in my hand. It's kind of challenged, which is, but it can't stop my brain or my heart right now. And that's kind of where it is. It's tough. I'm working to walk now. I took my first steps last week for the first time in 18 months.
I remember you telling me when you come to the Magic Kingdom, I'm hoping that what is your goal? You were telling me.
My goal is, I have 3 goals. I obviously want to get back to some quality of life for my family, which I'm working towards, and hopefully involved back in working for my company. 2, I want to stand at Magic Kingdom with my wife, and just to thank her because we are celebrating 25 years of marriage this January. And, in all honesty, as much as I give her a hard time from time to times, it would have been easy to walk away. It would have been easy to say, all right, I don't know if I can handle this fight. I don't know if I could,
No, that would have been easy for you to do. I truly believe you, from what you're telling me, that you may have had at some point an opportunity to go, and maybe you just decided not to in some way.
Well,
honestly, listening to a few hours of Corey Meets World, I just would have given up at that point because I'm kidding. I love Corey. I had to make a joke to lighten it up, Pete.
It's okay. It's amazing, John. You're just amazing. So I think I owe Corey 5 cents for using that word. But the whole thing with it is, I was left here with challenges. I want to help other people. Mike Wheeler, who's in the chat, is one of my inspirations in the community. Mike is handicapped. For those who don't know, he is blind, but he sees more than anybody you'll ever meet that has full sight. So people like Mike that have inspired me make me want to get out there and help other people. I want to inspire those who are handicapped, who are given a challenge in their life, to realize that there are things you can do that you can beat what you're doing with the power of positivity.
You could have completely given up. I mean, I don't even want. I'm going to ask you because I do want to know, when you woke up, what was your initial reaction? Was it more, I'm glad to be alive, or holy moly, look at what was taken from me?
Okay, so the 2 things that I remember for waking up is when I woke up, I want to say it was like 11 tubes in my body at the time. I had multiple tubes going down my throat. I had breathing apparatus. I had feeding tubes. I had other blood tubes. I had they had done kidney dialysis multiple times. I had tubes for that. Yeah, I had more tubes than a 70s Pinto. But I remember waking up, and when I first kind of got myself together, I remember turning to my wife, and they were talking about, stuff with me. And I remember saying, what the F happened? And her kind of breaking down a little bit to have trouble to tell me. But I remember turning to my, and I remember saying, the girl from my office, Robin, was there. When I realized what was going on, I remember saying something to the effect of, oh my God, how am I going to take care of my family? Was one of the next things that came out of my mouth. But the third one, Preston came in, and I remember saying to him, he was telling me about the guys from this and that dressing up, and they were doing an auction to raise money. The Disney community was trying to raise money. My medical bills are well over $1 million, and they were trying to raise money to help my family. And Preston showed me a picture of Steve in a ballerina costume with makeup on, trying to, do stuff to raise money for me. And I remember saying something to the effect of, I go to sleep for just a little while and everybody gets delusions of grandeur. So, but that's my sense of humor. And when I handle items of challenge, I face it with humor.
You have to. That's absolutely my stance also.
It's my way of doing it. If you remember, I told you about the first time we met, which I didn't know if you remembered or not. Which was, you didn't. It was in the Polynesian, and I was there hanging out with Dev, and you were there talking to several fans. You were there talking. I remember where it was. And I remember saying to Dev, and it wasn't meant to be me. I went over to say hello to you, and I got blown off a little, but it was okay because at the time there was a couple other big YouTubers there that were also trying to speak with you. At the time, nobody really knew me. And I was just, at that point, I was.
I'm not usually one to blow anyone off. I would probably say,
You were
just
busy.
wait 1 second.
It wasn't intentional. You were very busy. You were
Okay, good.
You had some other big people there that I won't say names, just to throw it, but very, very influential in the community. If you understand my drift, ladies and gentlemen, that were waiting to say hello to John as well. And I just kind of said hello and moved over. And I remember walking back with Dev, and Dev was like, "Hey, you had so many other people there that were trying to say hello to John." And I said, and I remember turning to Dev and saying, "Yeah, well, if I'd had a Panda shirt on, maybe he'd have talked to me." And that was my comment to Dev.
I'm sure I would have. I love Dev too. How's he doing?
He's doing well. He's doing well.
But you woke up, and I don't know the old Pete. So when I talk to you and I see all the good that you're trying to do and spread, sometimes you go, let me see if this person's for real. And I quickly realized you're the real deal. But I don't know, did that come from your experience, or were you like that already? Or you could even be honest and say, were you only 50% like that and your experience made it more?
No, I'm 99% like this. The 1% that I realized where I was failing, that I could do better, which was to try to be more supportive at home with my family, on the fact of I would put, when I'd start working, I could go in this office and put, if it's 24 hours a day, put in 16, I'd still make time for my family. I'd still stop and do stuff, and I'd still take them to Disney and do everything. My kids had everything that I could give them at Christmas, but I try to spend more time now, taking a few minutes to go out there, sit and talk with them, pet the dogs. You just,
I think we all need to do that. COVID kind of helped a lot of people realize that too, to slow down. David Picciano is asking, is there anywhere people can contribute to your medical bills, or any way to help out? And I can tell you that from talking to Pete privately, he did not get like a huge settlement from anywhere. He's fine, but he didn't get anything big like the tuxedo place knows they made an infection, and nothing like that. So is there still a place?
We had a foundation for a while, and we stopped the foundation at this point. I've had people that have offered to do that. I don't expect that from anybody, David. I appreciate you in your generosity. I've had a lot of people, go onto my channel and find our PayPal or our Venmo and do stuff like that, or Super Chat. And I'm always gracious. I don't do my channel for that, John. I do that. Part of the reason, the inspiration for doing my channel is, and everybody that knows me will, and the people that are in here that know me would back me up in here. I've said this many times. I actually got interviewed by a newspaper the other day that asked me this. They said, "What's your channel about?" And I said, "Well, Seinfeld, who I'm a big fan of, says that his show is about nothing." Well, I tell everybody my show is about everybody else. All I care about is interviewing great creators, making people laugh. There's my buddy, the Shep from the Shep family. There's a perfect example of an inspiration for why I do what I do is Ryan right there. I want to make people laugh. I want to help every person I can get to that 100 subscriber, get to that 1,000 where they have a chance to be monetized, get to that 100,000 like yourself, sir, where we can help you and Prince Charming Dev and Provost Park Pass and the next level, who right behind that, the Corey Meets World, the Jackie Super Enthused, Paigey Mr. Morrow, WW couple, and behind them, Magical News Live, and hopefully others along the way, help them get to that where they have that plaque behind them. And my ultimate end game, I tell everybody this when I go to interview them, I don't ask one person that I interview, I don't ask them to be a subscriber to my channel, to like a video. I don't ask you to be a member. I don't ask you to share me out. I don't ask you to go to my Facebook page and participate. If you choose to do that, it's all of your own choice. I'm still going to promote the heck out of you. I'm going to help you because God left me here to help those that are handicapped, that need mental support, and I want to do that. And God left me here to help the people in this Disney YouTube community and try to bring people together, which is why I'm doing some of the stuff I'm doing with like the Pixar Awards that we're giving out, which I've talked to you about, and the night before Christmas event that we're doing, and things like that. I'm just trying to bridge. The one thing I didn't like about this community, John, and I've been following it. I told you that I feel like you are a pioneer in this, much like I feel Josh from Resort TV One and Jenna, the Do Philly crew, Tracker, Adam the Woo, those people. There's others, obviously. I'm not getting everybody, but you guys were pioneers in this, and you started this whole thing. And then people came behind you and had incredible success, like Dev and Mickey Views and so many of them that are having it. What my ultimate end game is very simple. I want to be down in Disney, over in France, by that Grand Marnier slush kiosk, have a bunch of my friends there, and be able to toast a glass to Walt for bringing us together. Because if not for Walt Disney, I don't meet John. I don't meet Shep family, Mike Wheeler.
I will definitely be there whatever day this happens.
Yes. And then the other thing is, I hope that the creators that I'm helping can say to me, Pete, what you did helped me. And if that happens, then everything that I'm doing is for the right reasons. And that's all I want. I've already gotten a huge win out of this. I've gotten to meet heroes in this business for me for when I started out, to sit down and be able to call, people like Corey, Resort TV One, all the guys from this and that, my personal friends that I talk to outside of being online, that call me to ask how I'm doing. Sitting down with you here tonight, I never thought that I would have that chance. I told Josh that when I started doing this, that I didn't think I'd ever have a chance to sit down with you or Lou Mangello, who I'm working on, people like that have started this whole thing. To be able to have my son be treated with respect, to be treated with love. When we were down in Disney the last time before I got sick, in August, which was for Star Wars opening, my son was hanging out with all four of the This and That guys, Corey Meets World, Dev, and every night they took care of him to the fullest extent. Even though we'd be walking around and going to parks and doing things, I didn't have to worry about where Preston was because I had people in the Disney community. Donna Jaworski, a perfect example.
Yeah, it becomes family. It's family.
They had him every time. Donna Jaworski, John, sent Preston gifts like every other week while I was in the hospital from Disney to keep his spirit up. These are salt of the earth people that you
I wish I knew you when this was going on. I didn't at all. It was just not. But I feel like people are saying that this is the real you, that you didn't really change that much. And that's amazing to me because, I think of you, you must have been some sort of a curmudgeon. But I know, like Scrooge, and then you went through this experience and now you're this wonderful guy. But no, you really were ahead of time.
Well, here's the thing. I was doing enhancing. Okay. I started in this thing. I much like everybody else. Hey, Herschel, how you doing? I found I was searching one day for Disney. I found Resort TV One. And Josh was like at 4,000 subscribers. And I started watching him, and he hooked me up with other people. And I started following because Josh told me at that time, he was like, oh, I love Corey Meets World. I love Prince Charming Dev. I love, he's talking about the WDW couple. So I started following them. But I didn't want to be on camera. I had no desire to do a channel or anything. I was shouting people out on social media. I was moderating for their channels, doing that type of stuff. I called myself a YouTube Disney enhancer was the title that I came up with. And I thought it was a great,
I like that.
Yeah, well, it's an enhancer in the wrestling business, which my brother does and our family does for pro wrestling. An enhancer and accompaniment is the referee or the manager or the valet. And that's where I took that from. I said, I'm an accompaniment to the stars. Here's the stars. Panda's a star. I'm an accompaniment. And that's the way I looked at it. So, but when we were in the hospital, my son said to me, I'll never forget, I was laying in rehab and he said, Dad, YouTube won't let me go live because I'm too little. And I said, okay. I said, what do you want to do? He says, I want to go live when I go home. He's like, will you do it? And I said, well, I don't know. And Preston, as he always does, the sun rises and sets in Steve's world. Okay. And the This and That guys. Preston said something to me. Well, Steve said he would do it with me, Dad. And I'm like, oh God. I was like, all right, I'll do it with you, son. I'll do it with you. So we came home here. I was home for 2 days. I went into the hospital in September. I didn't get home here until April. Wow. April, man. A lot of months gone. And I was here for 2 days and Preston said, Dad, can we go live? And I was like, all right, crap. All right, I got to do it. So I did it with him. And what I didn't see coming, John, was the right cross of YouTube. I actually liked it. But then I said to myself, well, if I'm going to do this channel, and I called people in the community that I trusted, that I valued, many people I've mentioned tonight, others that I've talked about. I've called people and said, hey, what should I do with this? And I came up with the idea of, okay, if I'm going to do a channel, I'm going to take enhancing and I'm going to do it on Monster Energy Drink. And I'm going to help every other channel out here that I can grow. I don't care if you've got 100 or 100,000. I'm going to do what I can to help you as long as you have a couple criteria. It's got to be clean, decent content. It's got to be appropriate. It's got to be Disney friendly and some type of Disney flair, and try to help you grow. And as long as you do that and you follow the 2 simple rules, I only ask 2 things of my guests. I ask them to give me the tools that I need to promote them. Their logo, their picture, their social media, so that I can bet it, so that I can highlight it. And I ask them 2 weeks before the show, do me a favor, tell your fans that are out there that you're coming over. Why? Do I want your subscribers? No. What I want is people in the chat that night, like Shep from the Shep family is a great example. I told Shep, send your fans, tell them you're going to be live with us. And I said, here's the reason. Because people that are coming in finding you new, and I'm finding new people because I am tweeting or direct messaging 300 to 500 people a week that I don't know that have Disney content in their something social media and saying, hey, how you doing? I'm Pete McDevitt. I interview Disney creators. I never say once, come subscribe to my channel.
You should absolutely grow from that as well and be totally fine with that. That's okay.
Well, here's the thing, okay? Do I want to grow? Absolutely, I want to grow, but my reason is so different than yours and everybody else's.
I know you're sincere about that.
My reason is do I want 5,000 people following me? Yes. You know why? So that come December 20th, I can have 5,000 people that I can say, here's the big panda. He's amazing. Check him out. And the week after that, I can say, here's Triple P and here's so-and-so and here's so-and-so. And that's why I want it. There's so many great people, like Elena's in here from Aloha Elena. She's from Hawaii. She's absolutely an amazing person, very supportive. Casey Bryant. God bless Casey Bryant, sending my son pops because he loves collecting these pops, just doing it to highlight him, wanting to send him a Christmas present. That's what this community is about. If you go outside the Disney community, and I know many people have, it's vicious, it's cutthroat, can be vulgar, and
even sometimes in the Disney community, not in our circle that we've mentioned here, but in others.
In others, it can be. But John, the one thing I've hated about this whole community, and I've said it many times, for years it was always taboo. God, don't go over to that YouTube Disney community because we're in this Disney community. And don't go over. And well, here's my thing. Okay, so I'm sitting here in our community. And I'm looking over there, and there's all these other little Disney YouTube communities. And guess what? There's also the DVC community. There's a pin community. There's a Mickey popcorn bucket collecting community. There's, all this other stuff. There's the Disney Plus people, and there's hundreds of them, okay? I want to take a sledgehammer, and I want to break the walls in all of them. And I want to open it up and say, here's the love that Walt Disney had and what he wanted to share, and I'm trying to share it. And if you want to be a part of it, here's a hand. Come on over.
And if anybody's got the power to do that, it's you because of what you went through. Because nobody could say bull because of what you went through. You've earned that right, Pete.
I hope so. And I reference the trackers at time, and I do it out of respect for what they've done. Okay. But I respectfully also say, ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing. While 800, almost 900,000 people that follow the trackers who love Disney cannot be wrong. 800,000 to 900,000 people cannot be wrong. They've got something good going over there. There's millions upon millions upon millions, to quote The Rock. There's millions upon millions of people that love Disney that have no idea that we exist. And I want to go find them and let them, if they come over and I tell them about 20 channels and they only found 5, well, guess what? 5 more friends in the Disney community are
still better than nothing.
Yeah. And that's what I want, and what I'm hoping to achieve by what I'm doing. And we look, I'm not gonna lie to you, John. We have a lot of fun. I love comedy on my shows. I've got so much comedy going on that people don't know what to do. My Sunday show is all adult for adults to sit down and have a beverage and laugh, because I'm going to ask you where you've had whoopee in your life. It's going to be fun. And John, that's coming on when you come on Sunday night. But the Wednesday show is a little different. We have a little bit for everything. And that's, if we can find fun for the family, that's what it's about.
When are you coming back? You have a trip planned or no?
I do have a trip planned. It will be in the March timeframe. I will
Okay.
definitely. I will
Are
definitely.
you are you being any extra careful because of COVID?
I'm being exceptionally careful. We are
Okay.
waiting. The trip is in the air. I've already paid for the trip, but the trip is in the air based on what happens now with COVID and how it goes over these next couple of months because it's supposed to get worse before it gets better again. So
Yeah.
the
If
thank you,
if
Beatrice.
if in the end of December high risk gets this vaccine, take a look or wait whatever you need to, but I would consider getting it, especially if you're coming in March. I mean,
Well,
I'll jump on getting it by
Dr.
January if they offer.
Dr. Scalia has already told me I am getting it. I don't have a choice in the
Good.
matter. He's
Okay,
gonna
good.
he will personally give it to me. So I'm looking forward to go. This first trip will be a little bit different. I hope that people in the community can respect and understand that while I would love to meet everybody, there won't be enough time for me to greet all the fans or do a fan meetup. I've had a lot of them that want to do that,
If
but
you do a France thing, if you do a France toast, and you
there will
just put it out there, a
there
lot
will
of
be a
us
lot
will
of
make sure we
people.
get there.
What I'm doing with this one will be a little bit different. We have two trips that we're planning minimum next year. One in March and then one again around Christmas time. Christmas time next year, I'm going to do a single day where
Awesome.
I do a full fan meet and greet if they, anybody that's in town to hang out. But this time is going to probably be a dinner or something somewhere with people, like John and the creators that I'm friends with in the community where we can meet privately, where I can say hello to everybody, where my family would like to thank people like Resort TV One, like the This and That guys, like Corey, that went out of their way to raise money to try to help our family, that did things for us, like Donna, who sent stuff to my son, Donna and Arjons and Sam every day, like Nick, who called my son Magical News Live many times, and they want to thank them. And in order for me to do that and still be able to do Disney, we have to keep it controlled this time. So there'll be a time and a place. I would love to have a chance to meet everybody. I try to work hard to engage as many of the people out there, because without people like Beatrice, Michael Riley, Jeffrey Resendez, Casey Bryant, Mike Wheeler, Elena, and I'm just going up your list right there for what I can see. Without those people, this community doesn't exist, because community starts with people, and that's the key thing.
Completely, I agree.
Huh.
What's coming out new that you're most looking forward to?
For Disney,
Yeah,
Ratatouille, obviously.
I agree with that. I think we're hearing 2021 no matter what. It's not coming
Yeah,
this
I
year.
mean,
So
I'm looking forward. For me, okay. So the last thing I did, and I'll try to keep straight face as I say this because it's tough.
hey,
The
you don't
last,
have to keep straight face. It's okay.
it's,
You've gotten me teary eyed already. It's okay.
it's the last. Hey, there's my buddy Dizar Dream. He's an inspiration for me too. The last thing that I did at Disney was I was standing by where they put the Christmas tree, and I turned over my left shoulder, and I said, "Walt, I'll see you in a little bit." John, I didn't know that I was actually going to see Walt. That I didn't know that was going to be the outcome. But I want to get home. I want to go home. I want to stand there with friends and do that. So as far as, do I want to see Disney with Guardians of the Galaxy and Ratatouille and so on and so forth? I haven't done Mickey's Mickey and Minnie's Runaway
Railway.
There's, I haven't done I've done everything in Star Wars except for Rise. Do I want to do those things? Yes, I absolutely do. But more importantly, I am just as excited about seeing as I call them, I stole this from Steve's World, my chosen Disney family, which you are a part of, which every person that does my show is a part of, which every person that becomes a member of my channel is a part of, which every person that likes something or does something. You don't have to. Here's the thing. I try to stress this to everybody. You don't have to spend money to be an active, aggressive, a part of this, and involved, influential, I can use so many words, part of this community. You can like a video, it's free. You can follow a channel. If you're watching Big Panda right now and you're checking him out for the first time and you're brand new and you think you like what you're seeing here, it's the tip of the iceberg. Hit the subscribe button. It's free. Hang around and help out his channel. It's huge. If you really like your person, if you're following Dizar Dream, Big Panda, I'm just channels, and I knew the Shep family who were in here. If you're following these guys, share them out on social media. It helps.
I find that sharing and collaborating and stuff really always helps everybody involved. There are some people that are very into themselves that don't want to, like you say, break that wall, and that's, I don't know. I've never ever played by that at all.
Well, you know the great thing about this, what I'm doing, and maybe it's part of my story now. My story is on my YouTube page. If you have time, it's a tough watch because there's pictures of me in a coma.
Give me your YouTube channel so people. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't see that.
Oh
What
yeah,
is your YouTube channel name
it's my name. It's just my name, Pete McDevitt. Just as you see it right there on the screen, that's my name. That's my channel. I stood by the fact that God, my father and my mother gave me that name a long time ago, so that was the best name for me to have for my channel. On that channel, there's a video called "My Magical Journey to Return to Walt Disney," and it's got a black thumbnail on it, and you can find it. And there's pictures of me in a coma there, where I actually read day by day exactly in detail what was going on and what was happening.
Wow. Okay, I did not do. I thought I did my homework on you. I need to go watch this.
It was next to the fact of when my middle daughter was born, my wife had problems at pregnancy and almost died on the table. The baby got stuck, and it was either a thing of her almost kill the baby, pulling her out, or save the baby and push her back up to save my. So I almost lost my wife or my daughter. That was one of the worst days of my life. But reading the documentation that day on video, it took me about 35 takes. And I'll be honest with you, John, I'm pretty proud that I'm a 1 or 2 take guy. I can usually hammer what I want to say. Being part of the wrestling business for a little while, God bless my brother that he let me, tag team with King Kong Bundy for a little while there. Having a microphone in my hand, I'm comfortable in front of a mic. I can think on my feet. That I couldn't do. I had to keep stopping because I was crying.
Now you're reading the stuff that they wrote down for you. Is that what you're reading on this?
What I did was I took that journal and I made it into bullet points on each day because the journal was so overly detailed. Viafree, good to see you in here, Ed. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hit that like button, Ed, for my buddy Panda. I took it and I bullet pointed that, and then I read it on there. Is what I did.
That's amazing.
It was the only way that I could get through it. So.
All right, let me give you some positive stuff. You were talking about being near the tree in the Magic Kingdom, and I'm sure you've seen this video. It's only like 4 minutes. I'm gonna break us up for a second and give you some Disney stuff. I'm gonna play this Disney video for you.
Awesome.
Because I cried when I got into the Magic Kingdom, and I didn't film my ugly cry, but I did an ugly cry. There was something that I didn't expect when we went to Disney for Halloween. It was kind of like half the decoration, not even. They didn't do any of the pumpkins on Main Street. It was very minimal. And I was like, all right, COVID killed Halloween pretty much. So for Christmas, I was expecting half the decorations. And when I walked into the Magic Kingdom, it was decked out and it was amazing. And they were doing the Christmas parade, the Mickey's Very Merry Christmas parade. The party parade in the daytime, split up into small segments. And I didn't feel much social distancing, which probably isn't good. But because of that, I was just overwhelmed that things felt normal. And I fell to the floor and started to cry. I wanted to show you this video real quick. Then we're going to get back. We'll come back.
While you're gone, while the video's playing, you have to do me a favor. You have to PayPal Corey 5 cents for using the word amazing again.
Every time we use amazing, Corey gets 5 cents?
It's 5 cents.
Okay. He's probably got $1.65 right now. It just feels like some normality is coming back to the world. There was
That
a
was
little
so
back of
awesome.
Mangello. Thank you. There was a little back of Mangello head. If you didn't
I
know
saw that.
that. Did
I
you?
saw that.
Were
When I
you able
talked to
to?
him, I'll have to.
Were you able to tell that's him?
I know Lou, but I know Lou to heart. I mean, he's somebody who I listen when I first started in this whole thing. I listened to Lou all the time and was inspired by him. I think he's incredible for what he does, charity work, and he's an inspiration for what I'm trying to do as well. For everything that he does and the amount of things that he does to try to help other people.
When
Is a
he saw me
beautiful thing.
crying, he went to hug me, and then he remembered COVID, and he went, I'm not hugging you." He plays with me a lot like that. All right, so I can't, I want you to come in March, but I want you to make sure before I really do hope that you get a vaccine before you come, no matter what. Just
Oh,
because,
I have to for what I'm going to do. I got to protect myself.
yeah, and I want your chapter to end good. I don't need another Pete
Well,
McDevitt bad chapter.
here you talk about chapter there. So when I was in the rehab facility, it was in a division of a place that also was a nursing home. And I was laying in bed one night, and one thing that is more acute now on me is my other senses, because things happen, are more acute. And I was laying in bed at 2 a.m. I heard a nurse. I was in 205. I heard a nurse say, "Seal off 206 immediately. Seal it off." And I was like, okay, interesting. And then so they didn't say the C word, COVID, but
Oh,
I had a feeling.
I forgot
Okay.
that's April of this year.
It
Yeah.
was, it was when it was going on. And we had places in Maryland that were having 30 and 40 deaths, in weeks happening. And I remember them saying that. And I called my wife and said, my whole story cannot end here. Get me the heck out of here now. And they got me out of there within 7 days. 7 days. So I see my friend Dizar Dreamer here. I'd just like to point out that in your video that you just played, Panda, you had a great shot as you panned around of the confectionery where they sell cupcakes, Jeff. You can get me a cupcake and it's not illegal. I had to say that. So
I can send you a cupcake. I'm just scared it's not going to be fresh
yeah,
by
there
the
you
time.
go.
Wait, will they ship it from there? Still,
They
by the
won't-
time
they
you
won't
get
ship
it.
They won't ship it from Disney. It's been great in the mail from a couple fans, Jersey Mike and from Donna Jaworski. I have received sprinkles in the mail, and it was the best thing that I ever got because
And it was fresh by the time it got to you?
it was fantastic. You don't have a lot of time, to sit back on. It's not like walking in the confectionery.
Like a Rice Krispie treat in a plastic package, I get.
You get it. So I did, this is, you talk about am I what I was before, Panda. When my daughter's 18, when she turned 16, I was here in Maryland. I got her up in the morning, sent her off to school. It was about 7 o'clock. I went to the airport. I jumped on a plane, Southwest, flew down, went over to Ed, don't start promising me cupcakes. You didn't even show up at my house when you were 5 minutes
No, wait,
late.
but why don't we use this show as proof? This is Ed?
Yeah.
Okay, when do you want your cupcakes by, Pete?
At some point. Well, just whenever they come.
Like next week, I think. By next
Whenever,
week, Ed?
I don't
Ed,
think
when are you going?
Next week. He's got family up here. When he comes up this way, bring me a cupcake. No. Here's the thing. You'll love this, Panda. I sent her off to school. I jumped on a plane. I drove over, went right to Magic Kingdom. I rode Big Thunder. I rode Splash Mountain. I did Pirates. I walked over to the confectionery. I bought all kinds of cupcakes, all kinds of treats, cookies, everything Disney. Got back on a plane, came home here. When she came home from softball that day for her 16th birthday, on the table for celebrating was all Disney things right from the confectionery that day. That's how I roll. And
so here's another promise I make you. I'm sure you could still go on everything. But let's say Thunder Mountain, maybe it's hard to get a grip or you're nervous. You sit on there with me. You're not going anywhere. You'll be, I'm cuddling you basically, and you won't go out. So you're fine. If you need me to fill in.
I'm determined to walk I got to be able, I just started to do the walking and I got to be able to do that to transfer, to be able to move. I'm going to have to be in a cart or something because I can't walk. Walking 12 hours in the park ain't going to happen. So I'll have something that I maneuver around or fly around with. But I'll get to that point.
What's really good, though, is the new stuff like Rise of the Resistance and Mickey Minnie's Runaway Railway. It's a little bit of jostling, but nothing that you'd have to worry about holding on for dear life or anything like that.
I'm not going to be able to do at this point like Rock and Roller Coaster or something like that. I don't feel comfortable with it. But as far as everything else that's out there, I feel pretty good about.
Right,
As long as
Ratatouille, you're going to be fine.
yeah, I'm gonna be fine. And you know what? Here's the thing: even if I can't ride it, as long
But
as I
you will.
but if I can't for whatever reason, as long as my kids can do it and I can see the smile and the love of Disney on their face, and I can, treat my kids to snacks, and I can take them to dinner down there. We love, Tapanito, and, love going to Italy for dinner, and, so many other places around. I mean, there's so many places. As long as I can do all that stuff and I can see my extended Disney family while I'm down there, I will be ecstatic. I will be a kid at Christmas.
Then prepare to be more ecstatic, because you're definitely going to do those things. I'm not going to accept you not. So
Okay, I love it.
You can accept not doing it. I'm not going to. I'm going to make sure that you get on these things.
Yeah, and I mean, what we're doing now with these things coming up in the community to try to grow community. It's about, we talk about all these people that are I don't know, what do you call them? Pandaites, Panda Nation.
I went forever to try to find out something. The only thing I came up with that kind of stuck was Panda Peeps. So I call them Panda Peeps.
I like Panda Peeps. I do like the pandemonium that you do a lot. I'm a big mark for that moniker that you use. So your Panda Peeps, you and I have talked offline about how important they are to you because of the support they give you. And again, what are we? 98.1 thousand people cannot be wrong here. They can be.
They can be.
No, they can't. And they're not. They're not wrong, because I followed you for a long time, John. And I know the quality that you put out, okay? That's ecstatic. And the love that you have for everything that you do. So I love the fact that we're trying to do things now. What I'm trying to push is things that we're doing like this Pixar recognition, okay? It's, November 25th on my channel. We put out and have been...
Okay, so wait, November 25th on the Pete McDevitt YouTube channel, what's going on?
What we did was we started, it's a long story, but I'm going to go short with it. Back in May, when I came back and started doing this, I said, we need to recognize more of these people in the chat. Maybe the people that don't have a channel, okay? And like LSU Mom was one of our recipients of it. Just as an example, Mike Wheeler was a recipient. There are people out there that they're not creators, okay? So I came up with this idea of taking 18 channels that I selected and said, do you want to be a part of this with me? And they're all known. You can see them on my channel. We're not going to talk about that tonight. But I said, here's what I want you to do. I want you to send me 20 nominations of people that support your channel, that I wanted to do nothing with money. No super chat, no nothing. It has to do with their character. Words like powerful, strong female, strong male. Words like courageous that we have. Stuff like good characteristic points. So vote. Tell me these people. And when they gave me all of them, I put all the votes together. I said, here's your top 20-some people. These people are going to get a special recognition. And we call it our Disney YouTube Legacy Recognition. It's called the Badge of Honor. We make special buttons that we create for each one. The first one was the Muppet Badge of Honor. People like Mike Wheeler actually had one of the participating channels pin the button on him in Epcot. I was crying. That's crying. Cool. It was unbelievable. So this time we're doing Pixar, okay? And people are voting and putting this in. And what's cool about it is it's kind of like the Hall of Fame for the NFL. Every inductee gets a number. So like I know It's Joey's World was number 1 to be inducted in this. Once you're in, it's not like you're getting another award a year down the road. You're in. You're already so it's 23 or 24, 25 new people every time we do it. The Pixar button that we've made for this one is absolutely sick. Triple P, Josh, is a graphic designer. He's donating all his time and effort to create the stuff for us for free.
Did he make the coin?
No, we can talk about that in a second. I'll talk about that.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. So we're going to give out Pixar buttons. Guess what? In May, the next segment in this series, because we're going to do 3 of them next year, it's going to be Star Wars characters that are going to be the moniker. So if you're courageous, you might be Meridia from Brave. That's your character that goes with you. So everybody gets a name and a character. Mike Wheeler says, I was number 4. See, everybody knows the number they were inducted.
Yeah, your excitement is just contagious about this.
I love
stuff.
it. It's about recognizing people.
We're getting to the end. I want you to tell me about this, because I honestly, Pete, I love this. This is such a nice, heavy, feel good in your hand special coin.
So the here's what's behind that. Ed Viapre once said to me that was a Disney quality coin, and that touched my heart.
Oh, it's above it. It's
Exactly.
better.
So what happened? I've been involved with military for 20 plus years of my career. Okay.
Were you in the military?
I was not. My grandfather was an admiral. My dad served in Vietnam. I was not. I was going to play sports. So, but I found my way back to the military. The commander's coin or the challenge coin is one of the biggest direct recognitions that someone can give you in the military. If somebody walks up and hands you a challenge coin, you've done something extremely special. So I came up with the idea of I want to create a challenge coin for my channel. And what I want to do with it is two things. And that's the one. On the front of it, it has my logo. On the back, it has Steamboat Willie with the Disney logo on it. I created that and said I want to do two things with it. One, first and foremost, when I see someone in Disney wearing a Vietnam veteran hat or a U.S. World War I hat, whatever, Korean War, I want to walk over, hand that person a coin and say, thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice that you and your family made. And God bless you. Thank you for loving Walt Disney. Here is a challenge coin. Take this home. And I've already given
and
out.
And they know exactly what that is.
I'll tell you this. Nobody knows this. I'm going to be announcing this probably on my Friday when I do a sit down. Casey Bryant says Pete's coin sits proudly on my desk. I gave it to a military person just the other day. I gave it to their wife to give to him. He served in a nuclear sub for many years. He had his own coin from his sub when he was commissioned that he gave me his challenge coin back. I received one back, and I'm going to show it on the stream. I was so touched to do that. I wasn't expecting that. So I was so excited. So I give it to the military person, but I said, I believe if you're going to have members of your channel, that you invest back in them. You don't expect a member to just come up and support your channel. You go over and above to take care of the people that take care of you. So on my upper level, my 3 upper levels of my membership, every one of them gets one of those coins, and those coins are not cheap for me to.
I can tell that
it's well over $20 a coin cost for me with shipping and everything else that's involved for every one of those coins. So it's not like I'm making $1 coin and sharing it out, because you gotta thank people. You gotta say, hey, you matter.
I love it. You listen, I get a lot of stuff, and sometimes it means something, but you put it to the side and you don't worry about it. That coin, that meant a lot to me, and I like it. I hold it just because I like the feeling of it. It's good.
Very cool.
It's really nice.
I have one. I keep one right here by me, John. Since you brought it up, I have mine. This is the first one that I opened. I keep it out of the package. I keep it right here in my hand, and I pick it up all the time to remind everybody and remind myself that, you know what? The world's a better place when you put a smile on someone's face. Here's
Pete,
Mickey.
the world's a better place because you hung out and you didn't drop dead. It is.
I am glad to be here. Although I do have fun. Like there was one time just recently where we were doing some interviews. It was on one of our football nights. We also do NFL shows for those people that like the NFL. Monday and Thursday nights we're live doing the NFL shows. But I had one of the guys.
Wait, that's just on Pete McDevitt also. Well, that's on the same YouTube channel.
On Monday night, it's myself and Diz Our Dream doing the show. And lately we've had Love and Diz World Craig, who's a part of the Christmas thing, which we can talk about that real quick at the end if you don't mind. But we do the show on Monday night. It's different than any other watch party you go to. It's like if 5 of your buddies got a case of beer, sat around a TV and said, oh, God, look at that play. That's great. Hey, how's your daughter doing? She's doing great. Oh, did you see this thing in the news? Oh, my God, he just went deep for 30. It's like hanging out with friends. We do it totally different.
Have you been tortured that football's been off for a while?
No, I mean, we did shows in the off season.
But it's coming back now, right? It's back now.
It's back and doing well. DJ Del Sardo asked, how many coins have you given out? I had 100 created to start. I've given out about 30 so far. So I still have about 70 that I'm sitting on. And the guy, all I got to do is call the gentleman that created them for me, and he'll have me more in a short period of time. But yeah, so, I had a guy on Tuesday was Tracy Glenn. He's a member of the community, does a good job. He's a fireman. He's a hero. Fireman, police officers, your army, your nurses, your doctors, heroes. This is a great thing. He was complaining about, I put my hand in the snowblower by accident and hurt my hand. And I said, yeah, so that's cool. I waited to give him a couple minutes. And I said, Tracy, raise your left hand up.
You didn't hurt yourself that much.
he raised it up, and I said, "Hey, you still got yours. I don't want to hear about it." And we kept going. But if you can't laugh, you got to be able to laugh a little bit.
Did he laugh?
He laughed, but a lot of people don't know what to do when I do that. Because they're, working with a person that has a handicap, people don't want to offend. The tough part for me, John, is with part of what I did for a living, I read faces. Okay. Am I anywhere near as good as the guy that was on TV doing that show years ago, Lie to Me? That whole show is about. Nowhere near. But I can sit, and I've had it happen already where I'll see somebody as I'm out and about in public, and I read their face that says, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," or "Oh God, that's disgusting." And the worst part about it is, and my wife has got on me, because when I first came home and I was still working through accepting what had happened to me, a person came to the door, Amazon person, and was delivering something. And I went over by the door and was on my wheelchair, and I was all bandaged up and everything. And the look on his face said, "Oh my God, that's disgusting." And I looked right at him. It was on his face. I read his face. I looked right at him and said, if you think I'm disgusting, then you need to take your, and he actually said to me, "I didn't say that you were disgusting." I said, "No, your face did." And I went back in, and my wife got on me. She's like, "You can't do that. You cannot do that."
Yeah, you can. You're okay.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah.
Adam's asking what your favorite NFL team is.
I am a diehard fan of the Baltimore Ravens. I have a helmet right behind me here. I don't know. I don't think you can see it. It's behind me. It's on my heater right here. And I love the Ravens. I've always liked Tampa Bay for a long time. I went to a bunch of their games. Seeing Tampa Bay and hearing the cannons go off is pretty cool. But yeah, I love the Ravens. I love the Baltimore Orioles. As I talk about in my video, I'm blessed that a long time ago somebody decided to draw a mouse on a piece of paper that brought all these great people.
Isn't that funny how that's that's changed my life, that I've moved from Long Island, New York to Florida because somebody drew a mouse on a piece of paper. Pete, before we wrap it up, give me the Christmas thing that I am also a little part of. Give me that story. No. Oh, I'm not a part of it. No, I'm not.
We have it's going to be in excess of 50 YouTube people, maybe as much as 100. This idea, it was originally done by Rob Fuzz a couple years ago, and then Love and Diz World Craig reached out to me and said, "Hey, I have this idea." He was brand new to the community. He had less than 30 subscribers, I think, at the time. And he said, I have this idea. I want to do it. And I was honest with him. I said, "If you trust me to be honest with you for 5 seconds, I'll do it." I said, "It's a great idea. You have no chance in hell of pulling it off." And he said, "Why?" I said something to that effect. And I said, "Bud, I looked at your stuff, and you're extremely clean, and you're a good Disney Channel, but you're brand new to the community. And anybody that's got any size to them they're not going to know where you're coming from." Okay. I said, "However, here's what I want to do. I want to offer the olive branch. You do the work and put it all together for us. I'll do all the legwork of reaching out to everybody that I know in the Disney community." And John, I'll tell you, I'm probably the one person in this community that can pick up the phone and call just about the only person I think I can't call is Tracker. I pretty much can call everybody else. I've got their personal cell number. They've got mine. I don't mind that. I talk to everybody in the community. I love that. So
they have good reason to try to be more reserved from things that have happened to them, but I get it.
They get nervous when I call, though. They never know if I'm calling them on air. Your phone may ring one time. You'll hear me say, "Panda, you're live right now. What's up, buddy? How you doing?"
I'm good. I'll be like, "I'm in the bathroom. How you doing?"
Yeah, there we go. It's perfect. So, but anyway, I told Craig, "Hey, let me do this for you. And in turn, you can show the community how good of a person you are, how great of a channel you're trying to build to become, that you're ethical and honest." And he said, "Yeah, let me do it. I'll do it. I'll do that with you." So it was his idea. As I tell everybody, he's doing 95% of the work. I'm doing like 1%, and his wife's doing 4%, keeping him in line. So we've got the 100% blocked off. And what it's going to be is it's a reading of the night before Christmas. Each YouTuber has 2 lines. We put everybody's name into a thing and drew them out. So it was completely random for who's involved. And then multiple other channels are all involved at the end of this with a unique holiday touch that I'm not going to tell tonight. And I'm telling you, we are turning out for both the Pixar night and the night before Christmas that we're doing on my channel. I want everybody to know I'm just the platform. I'm representing a lot of other people that are involved.
So, Pete, go ahead.
all financials are being turned off for all 3 of those shows. There will be no super chats. There will be no super stickers. There will be no monetization of ads on those videos after they go on my channel. And fourth, and most importantly, I have the links to Give Kids the World for everybody that I know that still has an active link in the community, and they're all going to be in the body of the email. And all I'm asking everybody, if you have $1, if you have what you can spare, only if you can spare it. If you want to do something, don't give me, I'm going to be real. I'm going to tell everybody the night of the video. People have probably never heard anybody say this on YouTube. I will be pissed off, pardon my language, if somebody tries to Venmo or PayPal me that night. I don't want it. I want you to take whatever you want to be gracious and show the love to somebody less fortunate. And I think we've got links to VB Birthmarks, to Give Kids the World. It's all your Disney creators that are doing it. Support somebody that's less fortunate this holiday season. That's what.
And let me tell you, they need to get kids back. I can't wait till kids' wishes are getting back done. But listen, something that you don't know, I have this house from the Bradford Exchange, and it's a Christmas house, and when I press the button, Mickey Mouse reads the entire story loud and clear of the night before Christmas. So if you have someone that doesn't show up or someone that doesn't do their lines and you need me to get Mickey Mouse recording them to give him a part, I could always film the house and film the house saying it, and then you can pick and edit that line from it.
Do that and send it over. We'll find some way to.
I'll send it over to you and Craig.
Uniquely put that into there. And again, for everybody who's here, I see we've got 50 some fans. If you're watching live or you're watching on the replay, if you're brand new to Panda, come in from me. I'm his guest. I've been watching him for 3+ years. He does a great job. He's got an incredible sense of humor. If you're from New York, you're really going to like him because he does have the Mitchell Air Force Base Long Island twang in that. So I do hear that. And there's multiple ways.
I thought I lost it a little bit, but I didn't lose it that much. I still drink water and coffee.
Yeah, I love that. That just makes me feel at home, like I'm going to New York. Support John. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe. If you really like, check out what he's doing and everything. We appreciate it. And you have Panda attire somewhere. I got to get a Panda shirt. That's one I got to buy.
What size would you be? Just a regular large?
No, God, I wish. I
can't see.
I'm a big bone guy. I used to be, John, before this all happened, I was 310 pounds, 315 pounds. Wow. I'm down to 190, but I'm still big boned. I get everything in a 2 to 3X and then let it shrink down a little bit to be comfortable.
I think a 2X will run. These run pretty big. So a 2X, I'm going to bring you a 2X when I see you here.
Nice. I will wear it on the show. I try to support other channels by wearing their shirts, or if they have buttons, we have a case above me to the right where that you can see where that Christmas tree that just got sent to me today from the park.
Oh, that's the white one.
That's the white one. I'm connected. I can get anything I want, which I love. God bless people in our community. But right behind that, I collect people's buttons from their channel, and I put them in there, and I highlight them from time to time. Again, it's my way. Hey, Sandy Norris, good to see you.
Okay, you need to tell me what Haunted Mansion Funkos Preston has. So if I have an extra one, I'm going to send it over to him.
Oh, he would go ecstatic.
I know. I just don't want to send him a duplicate.
I don't.
Oh, you went mute.
Yeah, I did because I just there's only one way. If he's in the back of the house,
let's see if he comes.
Oh, he'll come.
Okay.
3, 2, come here. Listen. It isn't? Nope. Is your mother working on it?
No.
Preston.
The producer Preston. This is the big fat panda who you're getting to meet, which I know you're happy about.
Preston, what Haunted Mansion Funkos do you have, if any?
On the top of my mind, I honestly don't know.
Do you have any?
Which ones don't you have? Are there a lot that you don't have?
Yeah, I only have like 1 or 2, I think.
Okay, do you have any of the stretching room portrait people?
I have 1 of those.
Which one?
The old lady, probably.
I have no clue.
All right, when you find out, take a picture for me and send it. If I send you one, I just don't want to send you a duplicate. I want to send you one that's
new. Figure out what you don't have. So that you're going to run for? Unbelievable. Preston, by the way, Jeff's in here talking about the Steelers again. You want to say anything to Jeff? He's slamming the door.
Oh, he doesn't like the Steelers.
Oh no, absolutely not. And This Is Our Dream does a good job of pushing that button. He knows how to push the button. And
He left. He shut the
he
door.
respects and he loves Jeff, so Jeff's one Steeler fan that can get away with it.
When after this, send me what he doesn't have and send me your address so I can send him something. It'll probably come from Amazon if I don't have it. Pete, this was wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm gonna tell them what's been happening in my life. I'm gonna let you go. I will see you. What are our dates that we're doing?
We are doing December I believe it's the 20th and January the 20th. They're both
December the 20th and January the 20th. I will be there. We'll advertise as much as we can. Thank you, sir. Love you, buddy.
Love you. Thank you, bud. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Guys, when I heard his story, and I spoke to him on the phone, I was like, sometimes people, they don't seem real to me. They're like, he was being too good. I'm like, this guy can't be that good. And then when I heard his story and I heard what he went through, I was like, wow, this guy, he's the true deal. He's a really nice guy, and he's good. I really hope he gets everything that the world has coming to him, because there's only good vibes that have to come to him. Wow, I just noticed my cat tree is not doing good with the green screen. Okay, I wanted to give you 5 minutes of what I'm doing in my life without it being a commercial. If any of you know, I work for MEI Travel. During COVID, I had to figure out other ways to make money. I mean, I still was with them on a very low level, but certainly not at the same level that I was, and it should start to come back. So I have been selling things, as you may not be so surprised. I was trying to survive. What I wanted to show you was I was doing embroidery. So I'm still doing it. I'm big time doing this embroidery. It became a thing. I don't know how I became this person that made the Haunted Mansion towels, the Haunted Mansion napkins, the snowflake towels that are really nice. If you want any of these, I'm lowering the prices. Why? Why am I lowering the prices? Because I bought this machine, and I want to show it to you for a second. That is a 10 needle state-of-the-art Brother embroidery machine. And it can do everything, pretty much. These are like my favorite things. As a matter of fact, Mary Wells, who's in the chat room, she has these. Mary, don't you? So towels are usually around $55 for two, which includes shipping. I really should say $40 for two and include shipping, because when you say that, people don't realize you have to still pay for shipping. Napkins are $25 and include shipping. There's a whole bunch of different Christmas things and stuff like that, so Disney inspired. Also, I know I'm selling Scentsy. Yes, pandasmells.com. And let me tell you, oh, did you see that big cat? That is a big fat cat. Leon, what are you doing? I don't know if you can see him. He's going to attack me. Scentsy has all kinds of Disney stuff. So if you're looking for Disney-related Scentsy stuff, please go to Panda Smells. Get it from me. I will see you next Tuesday with another guest. Please go to Pete McDevitt's YouTube for me and follow Pete. And if you need me for anything, you can send an email to panda@bigfatpanda.com. That's how you will... Yes, I've been showing them in the Facebook group. That's how you will place an order right now. I'm making a website, which should be out next week or the week after. It's a pretty cool website. It's we're going to have Panda points that you get for like even coming to a show, and you can put those down for prizes. You can redeem Panda points. So... thank you so much for everything today. I'm sorry, I don't want you to think that today's show was a downer, because it wasn't. It really, if you think about it, it was uplifting. Even though we found out Pete, went into a coma and he lost his hand and other things, look at where this man has come. So I thought that it was important to share, and it was very inspirational to me. So, Pete, love your coin. Thank you, guys. I will talk to you all soon.